Sweeties, how are you doing? Welcome to Naya Sim. If this is your first time of coming across this channel, sweetheart, kindly smash that subscribe button and turn on your notification so you are notified each time I upload, and please give this video a thumb up. I appreciate you all so much, and I am sending a very big shout out to you all for the love and support you all shower me here with. I am grateful. You all are super sweet. So today we'll be talking something very important about what happened in Florida, and I am going to say a very big shout out to that black man who actually stood out to ask this question to Ron DeSantis. He actually asked him, "You have allowed people to hunt people that look like me," and guess what? Ron DeSantis fled. I mean, like, he was so angry. He did not allow the man to speak. The man was like, "I have not finished talking. Allow me to speak because I still have so many things to." He is the one with the microphone. The black man is not with the microphone. And he said that he is being, I mean, like, he would almost crying that he is being accused, and he's not going to allow him accuse him, that he's not going to take that. And the funniest part is that people actually stood out. People that look like him actually stood out and was clapping for him. And guess what they did? They actually walked the man out. Yes, they walked the man out of the conference room and said, he was like, if you want to have the conversation, come out and have a proper conversation, not this kind of conversation. You all know that Florida is where woke goes to die. Florida is where African American history is violent. Florida is also where, I mean, like, he is going to destroy woke and leave them in the dustbin where they belong. And they asked him this question instead of him to stand out and speak about all the things that has been happening in Florida about black people. That shows you how mentally immature and mentally unintelligent he is to tackle this problem or to answer this question. And he knew that the man actually, what he said was actually correct, that he has been hunting people that look like him and me because you all are not supposed to be in Florida. It is where work goes to die. I am rolling this clip. We'll come back to talk about this. Let me know what you all think in the comments. So straight up.
Was not the first.
So first of all, I did not allow anything with that. Well, listen, excuse me. I'm not going to let you accuse me of committing criminal activity. I am not going to take that. I am not going to take that. So you want to have a civil conversation, that's one thing. Try to say that I'm letting, that guy was Baker acting. He should have been ruled ineligible, but they didn't involuntarily commit him, and so they weren't. No. There is the truth. There is something about the truth. It's not everyone doesn't have their own truth. No. You don't get to come here and blame me for some madman. That is not appropriate, and I'm not going to accept it.
You have allowed people to hunt people like me.
Oh, that is nonsense. That is such nonsense. We've done more to support law enforcement in this state than anybody throughout the United States. Our crime rate in Florida is at a 50-year low. We have enacted policies so that people have a chance to live in safety. We have attracted people to come to this state in large part because we've had a commitment to public safety. So the notion that somehow we're not supportive of safety is absurd. I did not allow anything with that. Well, listen.
You were right. You didn't. But I'll tell you what you've done. You've done nothing but spread hate and division. You allow hate groups and white supremacist groups to come into Florida and spew hateful rhetoric. Your anti-woke law bills have gotten people killed and murdered. You, sir, signing executive orders to run over Black Lives Matter protesters who are protesting the victims of police brutality and racial injustice. So no, you've done a good job at causing a lot of damage. I'm not a fan of Biden or Trump or political parties, but you are a terrible human being in the POS. So hopefully when your next debate comes up, I hope that you are voted out of office and that you will no longer be the governor of Florida, because what you are is a hypocrite.
allow people to hunt people like me.
Oh, that is nonsense. That is such nonsense.
Are we done talking to these people now? Are we going to continue on with the gaslighting? Are we done with the victim shaming? We know for a fact that these people don't know how to take accountability for anything, especially for this country. I feel like my people, all of us, are not getting this. This is the state they want us in. They want us to stay engaged with them, with this BS. I'm telling you right now, the moment we stop having those conversations with these people, they're going to freak out. They're going to freak out. We don't need to convince anybody on anything no more. Like, this is the amount of hate groups in the United States as of last year. 1,225 hate groups in the United States. 599 hate groups back in 2000. 705 hate groups in 2002. This is after September 11th. 932 groups when Obama took over. And 954 the moment that Trump took over. My favorite hate group at the time, and that time, was the alt-right. They got me involved with the Second Amendment. Hardcore when they came in the scene. So why are we still having a conversation with these people? Why are we still allowing these people to gaslight us? We know who they are. We see them every day. I mean, they talk to us in a certain tone. They walk a certain way. They wear certain things. They believe things as well. We know what it is. The governor of Florida is one of them. So he's not going to help. And if you think that the governor of Florida is the only government official that is associated with a hate group, which I believe he is, I don't know what else to tell you. The point is, the government is not going to save us. They're not going to save us. They are going to protect their people. They're going to do everything they can to protect their people. It's time. It's time to save ourselves. It's time for self-defense. It's time for liberation.
You have allowed people to hunt people like me.
Oh, that is nonsense. That is such nonsense. We've done more to support law enforcement in this state than anybody in throughout the United States.
Ron DeSantis becomes completely unhinged, and he shows that he lacks the emotional maturity and intelligence to be an effective leader for all people in Florida and in the United States. Here is a black man at a press conference questioning Ron DeSantis' ability to protect and serve the black community. In the video, he says, "You allow people to hunt people like me." And just for reference, these are schnazis at Walt Disney World protesting and showing their support for DeSantis, doing this with impunity. And I know people are going to say First Amendment, the right to freedom of speech. And this is again in Altamont Springs just a couple days ago. Again, protesting their hate with impunity. But this is what it ultimately leads to. If you don't know who this is Christopher Pe0ple from Jacksonville, Florida. And he is responsible for a racist rampage here in Florida that killed 3 black people, which is undoubtedly the reason why the NAACP issued a travel advisory warning for black citizens in the United States for Florida. And rather than listening to the pain and the anger of the black constituents in his state, Governor Ron DeSantis doubles down. He goes off in a tirade, centers himself in the narrative, and makes the conversation about him and what he's done again. And even then, he completely missed the mark. Did y'all really hear what his response was? He said that we've done more to support law enforcement than any other state in the country. Really? Law enforcement? What have you done to support the black community? Tells me, and all the white people who gave Ron DeSantis a standing ovation at the end of that as the black guy was being asked, it tells me that he has not been listening to a word the black community has been saying. We've literally had Black Lives Matter's protests that were centered around police brutality and law enforcement. The ineffectiveness of law enforcement, the lack of trust in the community with law enforcement. And when a black man shares his fear with you, Ron DeSantis, you tell him, don't worry, we support law enforcement. And I get it, because once upon a time I was just like you. But it's time that we start listening.
All right, folks, real quick, go and watch that video. You'll see this incident between Governor Ron DeSantis and an individual in a crowd that he was speaking to, in which the person attempted to hold DeSantis accountable for the types of policies and legislation that has been passed and is accepted in the state of Florida that effectively makes people like himself, people of color, immigrants, makes them feel physically unsafe, feels like they're being hunted. But what I want you to take note of is the way that DeSantis doubles down on trying to say that things have never been better, crime is at an all-time low, they take those types of things very seriously, it's not his fault if people are breaking the law, and it just gives me immediate goosebumps and shivers thinking about like a fascist regime, right? Where, and really any situation where when somebody is clearly displeased and upset about the way something's being done and they express that, to have another person double down and just tell them nothing's ever been better. I get this quite a bit at Amazon, where it's a rhetorical trick, right? It's a trick of rhetoric where you take something somebody said, like, I hate it here at Amazon, I've never been more miserable in my life, and then I will have people respond, there's nothing better than Amazon, I love this place, and that's all it is. It's a rhetorical trick. And I mean, this is what our politics has devolved into. The man has a valid point in regards to whatever he's feeling in regards to the policy in Florida. So to just have a governor shut it down and act as if there's nothing going on, that's truly disturbing, because that gives me, sort of 1984 vibes. Everything's great, nothing's wrong, you've never been happier. Anyways, rant over, but check that out and watch out for that, because that's a dirty trick that the right-wingers play a lot. It's also something that anybody that is trying to compete with you or get over on you in a conversation, that's something that they do. Don't take it at face value. It's a mistake to do that. And unfortunately, when that kind of thing starts happening, if people start pivoting back on you, the conversation's already over. And unfortunately, that's where we're at in American politics. Be smart, be safe.
First of all, I did not allow anything with that.
Okay, first of all, DeSantis, if you didn't allow it, then why'd you get so fucking mad? Okay, because people who are not guilty don't get so fucking mad, and you're so fucking mad. You allowed it. You allowed it because you're fucking trying to run for president, and you let people carry Yahtzee flags along beside your fucking name. So yeah, you fucking allowed it. You also took African American history out of the public schools. You fucking allowed it. You also said slavery was good for black people. You fucking allowed it. You fucking allowed it. You and that frumpity frump little orange thing, you fucking allowed it. Let the man talk. See, you got a fucking microphone and you won't let that man speak because you have a microphone, so you're gonna yell over him and get all your white people to clap behind him. Fuck you. Ugh, I can't stand you, DeSantis. Have the day you fucking don't deserve.
Well, listen, excuse me. I'm not going to let you accuse me of committing criminal.
This is what Ron DeSantis and his ilk always does. They will put out these policies that in no way, shape, or form will do anything other than harm minorities. And then once that harm comes and they're called on it, they deflect. When you create policies that target the African American community, when you let it be known that it is okay to be a Nazi and fly your flag and march in the streets of Florida, when you have it to where you have specifically gone against blackness by saying it's woke and then doing the Stop Woke Act, when you do all those things and on top of that allow people to just have guns without needing a license to carry, what do you think the outcome is going to be? That is why that black man said, you have given people the right to hunt people like me. Because that's what's happening. Because that's, of course, it's going to happen. This is after the Jacksonville shooting, mind you. This is after the shooting. And does he address that man's concerns? No. What does he say? Oh, well, Florida's crime rate is at a 50-year low. You just had a hate crime. See, even if that statistic is true, right? Overall crime is trending downwards. Specific crimes could still be having an uptick. My favorite part's got to be him saying we've done more to support our police than any other place in the country, as if the police don't have a history of abusing its citizens, and particularly black ones. Like, you are effectively saying, yeah, bro, we're going to be more fascist, get used to it.
First of all, I did not allow anything with that. Well, listen.
It's not surprising. It's really, really not surprising that Build-A-Bear blockhead Ron DeSantis is not condemning the shit that happened in Jacksonville. And then the thing that happened near where I live, which is outside of Orlando. Those are his people. Those are his people. And he doesn't condemn it? What kind of a governor are you? Help me understand this. What kind of a governor you are? You are nothing but a Build-A-Bear blockhead and a racist.
So this is the part where I repeat my idea, where politicians, when it comes towards the end of their term, and whether or not they're looking for re-election doesn't matter, they should be made to testify under oath, in court, in public, under penalty of perjury, to everything that they did in their time in office. Enough of them lying in public. This is what needs to happen. They need to testify at the end of their term to everything they voted for, everything they voted against, everything they enacted, everything they took away, everything, all of it. Their financials, everything. Then we'll see who keeps lying to the American people.
Our crime rate in Florida is at a 50-year low.
I recently deployed with a cop from the Bronx who told me he wanted to retire in Florida, but he stopped himself because there was too much crime. He showed me some specific numbers that I think are valuable. Did you know that nearly half of all police departments in Florida don't even report their crime rates up to the state headquarters? And only 8% are reported up to the FBI at the federal level. My friend the cop put it this way: DeSantis hides the realities of Florida like Putin hides the realities of Russia. And in many ways, Florida is quickly becoming a mirror image of a post-Soviet failed state in Russia. I also find it very ironic that when I was deployed, my guy's favorite show overseas was the Cops episodes that took place in Florida, specifically Brevard County, but much of Florida is crime-ridden. Anyway, Ron DeSantis strikes again.
Howdy, hey. They carried that black man out of there after he was telling the truth. He wasn't even allowed to actually get all of his statement out. But one thing I need you to understand, that who carried you out of there? Who cheered? Who cheered for the man that has blown the dog whistle for you to be hunted down? Who normally is there to support you? See, this is what you're facing, black man. This is what you're facing. We know what we're facing. It's time for you to admit what you're facing, because you're losing your support. Quickly.
I think we're all very familiar with racist Ron.
Well, he did something a little bit more deplorable than we're used to. From Really American, Ron DeSantis flips out on a black Air Force veteran who confronted him about his policies. You have allowed people to hunt people like me. DeSantis shouts him down and throws him out. Free speech is only for some in DeSantis, Florida. Now, we know that Florida is not a safe state. In fact, there have been major groups that have said to black and brown people, do not go there. It is not safe. But DeSantis lies and says that their crime rate is at a 50-year low. Why is that? Because they stopped counting. He literally took a page out of Trump's book and stopped counting. So this is an article from Time, the problem with Ron DeSantis' claims about crime in Florida. In place of accurate FBI data, DeSantis basing his claims about Florida's crime rates in 2021 annual crime report. This report methodology is flawed since a total of 239 agencies covering about half of the state's population reported their crime trends using an old summary reporting system methodology. Others submitted with new methodology. Others did a mix of both. Some, including Hillsborough County, where Tampa is, didn't enter data whatsoever, meaning they were excluded from the 2021 statewide crime trends that DeSantis regularly cites. So here's the video.
Allow weapons to go the street is immature, hateful people that have caused the deaths of people who were murdered. Trayvon Martin was not the first.
So first of all, I did not allow anything with that. Well, listen, excuse me. I'm not going to let you accuse me of committing criminal activity. I am not going to take that. I am not going to take that. So you want to have a civil conversation, that's one thing. Try to say that I'm letting, that guy was Baker acting. He should have been ruled ineligible, but they didn't involuntarily commit him, and so they were. No. There is the truth. There is something about the truth. It's not everyone doesn't have their own truth. No. You don't get to come here and blame me for some madman. That is not appropriate, and I'm not going to accept it.
You have allowed people to hunt people like me.
Oh, that is nonsense. That is such nonsense. We've done more to support law enforcement in this state than anybody throughout the United States. Our crime rate in Florida is at a 50-year low. We have enacted policies so that people have a chance to live in safety. We have attracted people to come to this state in large part because we've had a commitment to public safety.
They've attracted MAGA. They've attracted dangerous people to Florida because he has declared basically open season on black and brown people. Did you notice how he also yelled from the podium a la Trump? That was exactly the way that Trump handled his crowds. So little Ronnie Two Scoops needs to be done quickly. We have no time for a politician who lies about data and then shuts down black voices, especially a veteran. I don't know about you, but I'm going to buy a bottle of champagne for the day that he ends his candidacy.
You have allowed people to hunt people like me.
Oh, that is nonsense.
This is a veteran voicing his concern that DeSantis policies promote racial violence. Specifically, the August 26th shooting in Jacksonville where 3 black people lost their lives to a white gunman. DeSantis talks over the veteran and claims no responsibility for the tragedy. The gunman was able to legally purchase an AR-15 despite known mental health issues and hospitalizations. The veteran was removed while people applauded.
So this is all I got from the stitches, and man, a very big shout out to that black man who actually stood out to speak his mind, because he actually speak for black community, and we all know that is what has been going on in Florida. Florida is where what goes to die. I mean, anything that got to do with black, and that is also where they started saying that slaves benefited from slavery. I mean, a whole lot of things coming out, and that is also the same place where they say, I am going to trash woke and leave them in the dustbin of, I mean, like, you know, so anything that got to do with woke is actually black people. I mean, he means black people. So when anytime you hear them say woke, they are talking about black people. That is also where African American history is also violent. Like anything about African American history, trash it because it is violent and that should not be taught in school. And what has he actually done since he became the I still want to remind you all that NAACP, it is there is still travel advisory for black people. If you are black, please do not go to Florida if you do not have anything doing there because it is not safe. And that advisory still sticks. And they are still saying it. And why was he screaming if he knew that he's been upright in all his doings and all that? Why was he screaming? And because he was the one with microphone and the young man was not with microphone, he got to shut him down because no, we won't let you, we are not going to let you speak because you are black. He actually knew that everything that young man said is all truth. It is happening. You all heard about the racial shooting that happened in Dollar General and the rest of it. So, man, I am not going to stop screaming it. Ron DeSantis does not have anything good for black people, most especially. And I will continue to say that you all better be careful out there if you are still there. And that a lot has actually been also happening there. It is also in Florida that they told students, elementary students, that if you do not pass your if you do not pass or get good scores, you are definitely going to end in prison or being pupilled. It's in Florida. I mean, a lot of horrible things has been coming up from Florida. And the fact he did this, like he shot this black man down, says a lot of things. And he said he is in Florida, that they support and all that, like, I think the best in the United States. I mean, of all places, Ron DeSantis, you absolutely know you're terribly lying. Man, this is all I got to say, but I am telling you all to really be very careful about Florida and the rest of it. And to that young man who stood out for black people, kudos to him. And guess what they did? They actually escorted him out because they are not ready to have proper conversation. They are not ready to have good conversation with black people. And this shows you that they do not have anything good for black people. This is where I am going to draw the curtain and see you all in my next video. Bye for now.